Alrighty guys, welcome back. I'm going to do another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video, of course, and the people have spoken. My last video on heroes and what heroes you want for, to carry you through the game and to help you do well, has done more than all my other videos combined. So I'm here to shamelessly plug another one and hopefully get some more views, as well as I do find these enjoyable as well. So we'll kill two birds with one stone. We'll give you guys what you want, and it works well because there were a few heroes in the last one that didn't quite make the cut, and that are definitely valuable to have in your box or in your hero pool. So yeah, we'll get stuck into it, guys. Before we do, make sure you do the thing with a like and a comment and subscribe. I do see your views, but it does help when you guys do all that stuff. It shows me that you guys are enjoying the content, as well as it lets everyone else see the fantastic heroes they should use. Thanks, guys. Alright, so first thing I wanted to cover is the still named festival unit, but a couple of festivals in here and a couple of other units to pull from the Ragnarok storyline. Like I said, just a couple that didn't quite make the cut last time, but I still think are really, really valuable to have in your squad. First one is Festival Ladosiel, or Margaret. She used to be everywhere. She used to be super, super popular and very strong. She still is very strong. She's just dropped off a little bit, especially in PvP and similar. Main reason she is so good is her blue card. Removes buffs, increases damage, and decreases damage you take. Right, and at level 3, it increases your basic stats as well. So this is fantastic for going up against a debuff boss, going up against a debuff team, even just increasing the overall damage that you do. Right, so say you pair something like this with a King Shield, you do more damage, you get a stronger shield, you rinse and repeat, right? Her Sever ult is kind of helpful as well, can be helpful, especially at 6-6, mine's only 2-6 because I've only, hashtag free to play life, but even at 1-6, like I don't really use it for her ult, I use it for her blue card, and if you're running a Goddesses team, her unique is quite helpful as well, as you can see, increased basic stats. Holy Relic is meh, not really worth it, but it's nice to have. Cool. Next unit is Freya. This is not a festival unit, this is one of the Ragnarok pools, a relatively new unit. And he kind of is a weird one for me. He sits between the support and the DPS, because he does have, cleave card, and he does have a death ult, which is really helpful at 6-6. This thing is super helpful for bypassing damage caps and stuff like that. Only 2 out of 6 again for me, but still helpful, right? 800% damage and 30% additional damage. So, for those who don't know, Death Ultimate, Freya and the One have, and then Death Attack, the new Ultimate Escanor has as well. Really good for bypassing damage caps on demonic beasts or boss fights or anything like that. So, really helpful ultimate. Does have a Cancel Stances card as well, which can come in handy, but so it does just dish out some damage, but he also has a pretty decent unique where you can't get ignited. He increases his own basic stats, but then he increases his own stats and then increases the stats of his allies as well every 2 turns. So does damage, but also sits in the support as well. It's kind of like a supporting DPS, right? So great to run with like maybe Melee or Escanor or anything like that. Festival Gotha is next. Now I've only just managed to get this guy myself, but I do really, really like him. Festival Gotha does come with a bit of a disclaimer. He is a great unit that is made fantastic by his Holy Relic. If you can't get his Holy Relic yet, I probably would recommend holding off. It's not really necessary. He's a great supporting unit, and I'll run through what he does shortly, but if you can't get his Holy Relic, he is only okay tier. He's not God tier or fantastic tier. It really makes the unit his Holy Relic. So if you're still struggling with the bird, focus on getting ones, getting more important Holy Relics, which, like my Gelders and Brunhilds and stuff. I'll touch on another video what Holy Relics you want to get, but yeah, if you can't get him yet, maybe hold off. Has the same card as Deanne in terms of Pulverize, which can be helpful. This debuff card is hella annoying to go up against if you're in PvP, because it just disables so many skills and it applies so many debuffs to you. So that's where someone like Margaret to cleanse them would come in handy, or if you are running this Gotha, you can run like Festival Zeldris in the back because of the debuffs he does apply. Again, as Orgothas, he's designed as a support unit, so he increases the allies' attack-related stats and HP, which can be helpful. It does take 10 times, or 10 skills used, which is, 3 and a bit turns. So it does take a while to max out, but it's definitely helpful for like Demonic Beasts or something like that, or longer kind of turn-based battles. Again, the piece de resistance for Gotha is definitely his Holy Relic. Increases allies' attack-related stats by 25% for 2 turns when his ult gauge is full. So this is really strong for helping you, bully your way through some boss fights or some Demonic Beasts, or just really dishing out damage in PvP. So he basically allows you, he turns your team into absolute weapons. So again, Holy Relic really makes him fantastic. Good unit by himself, but maybe not worth the gems until you can get his Holy Relic as well, because you just won't be using him to his full capability. Lucky last is Skadi. Again, she falls in with the kind of Ragnarok pools like Freya, but has a kind of helpful ult where she heals allies and deals damage AoE, but it's more her passive. Again, it's the unique ability, right? So basically every time she has a debuff, she decreases the enemy's attack and defense and increases the skills, the damage dealt by our team. And one of her cards is actually decreasing her own HP as well. So she immediately gives herself debuffs, which activates her passive. And then look, if you're fighting someone, like if you've watched my event Grasshopper boss guide, I just use Skadi because he does so many debuffs and he just makes it so easy, right? He just makes it so easy, or she just makes it so easy, because you end up being patient because they have such low attack and you just dish out a decent chunk of damage. So can do an okay amount of damage in her own right, but it's really for this attack, the unique, at least for myself. So if I was to rank kind of the ones you definitely want, definitely look at these first two before these two. These two are a little bit more situational, whereas Margaret and can kind of be used in everywhere. But all really good picks and really will help round out your team and allow you to kind of do different parts of the game, whether it be, again, boss battles, Demonic Beasts, whatever it is, right? Cool, speaking of Demonic Beasts, let's chat actual units designed for the Demonic Beasts. So these first three are specifically, for each of the Demonic Beasts. We'll have a special mention for Matronus here a bit later, but basically first, you've got Magelda, who's designed for the bird, or Helveskare. I'm going to butcher these names, but Helveskare. So she basically increases your stats by 8% when your health is full, and her relic becomes, like I said, this is pretty much the first relic you want to get when you're doing the bird, because she makes the bird a hell of a lot easier. So Magelda is the bird. Next you have Jormungand, or the Serpent Queen. Serpent Queller, excuse me. And again, she's basically designed for the deer, right? Every time you use a skill for three times, you get an increase of 30% to your stats. Same thing at the start of every turn, right? So we'll just basically boost all your stats to make you tank more, deal more damage. And her Holy Relic, again, is fantastic. The first one you want to get when you do the deer, because it makes the deer almost a walk in the park if you have a semi-decent team. Lucky last, you know where I'm going with this one. Skull and Hardy's character is Thonar, increases attack related stats and the amount of damage her ultimate does as well. Great unit for the dogs. We are still waiting on her Holy Relic. It is rumoured to be coming out soon. I hope it does, because I definitely need it. My dogs team is, only about 270k, so still strong, but not up to the state where you need to get through dogs. Dogs, up until recently, has been a very heavily whale activity, and is currently the toughest PvE fight in the game. So I'm not crushed that I can't do it 100% yet. I can only get through about floor 2, but it is frustrating, so I'm looking forward to getting hers relic as well. Now again, you're probably wondering why Matrona is here. I want to give her a special shout out because I don't really use her for anything else apart from the Demonic Beasts. To be honest, I don't really use her much anymore, but I can't underestimate, or I probably can oversell, but I can't underestimate how strong and how helpful she was, especially when I was first taking on the bird, right? These two were staples in the bird for me when I first started, and there's a couple of reasons for that. You can use her in deer as well if you want, but the concern is she only has one attack card, which can kind of, handicap you a little bit. basically every time she loses HP, or when she drops HP, she can help your team heal more, so some good passive healing there. She removes buffs on a level 1, which is brilliant when you're taking on the bird or the deer and they have evasion up, or they have, you know, stat boost up. Gets rid of all that for you straight away. And then you have a taunt for 3 turns even on level 1. So at the bird's second floor, there's a one-shot in phase 2. This will really help you for the one-shot part, and also it just means that she's there to just basically tank the damage for you. And your other, apart from AoEs obviously, but your other heroes are there to kind of dish out the damage, and she just kind of is a fantastic unit for just standing there and taking damage. So and she heals up right with a unique. So special shout out to Matrona, who, if you do get a chance to pull, is going to be a staple for you in the bird, at least in the beginning, right? And lucky last, just a couple of quick fun shout outs. I don't really use these heroes too much anymore, but they are a bit of fun to have, and if you build them up, they can be fun PvP teams and a few different things. So first one's Estarossa, the new Darkness Estarossa. It's basically the staple of the demon team. It allows you to build up a demon team that can just dish out a heck of a lot of damage, and you know, it can be a lot of fun. I've seen some big numbers on this guy in PvP, as well as just on like random boss battles that I've used him on. Basically puts darkness on the enemy, increases the amount of damage you deal to him, and then at the end you decrease all their stats by 40%. So he also has an attack that does more damage based on how much darkness they have. So can be a very strong unit and a staple for the demon team. Next is Purgatory Barn, who's probably my favourite from this list, of at least the free/fun units. He is a festival unit as well, but if you do get a chance to pull him, he's been out for a while, so he appears on quite a few banners. He's only 1 out of 6 for me, but he's a HP based build, which is a bit different from doing just, you know, your standard attack, right? So can be a lot of fun. I don't have his UR gear on him at the moment, but you basically want this HP number as large as possible, and then he'll do more damage. So he becomes very, very tanky, and can you see some very large numbers if you do the right thing and you give him Arthur and you give him Twigo, and you build a team based around him to increase his HP. You can see some big numbers from him, so a lot of fun. This might be a bit of a controversial pick, but I really like Red Derriere, and she's very specific, and she's kind of free to play, so you better pull her just on random SSR tickets, so you don't need to go like specifically pulling for her at all. She should just appear and you should just get her. But the main reason why I find her fun is she just nukes things, and what I mean by that is she has a passive that gives her buffs every time she uses a skill. It's very closely related to her actual combo star ability in the anime and manga, which is very cool. I do like that. And then she has an Amplify ultimate, as well as a stat boosting card as well. So this can be a lot of fun. You chain a few attacks together, she gets slowly stronger. You pop a big basic stat Amplify, and then you dish out a lot of damage. So I've seen 1, 2, 3 million damage on one hero with this attack, which is a lot of fun to use. You use her on like Howlex, Hell, and sometimes Nighthawk boss battles and stuff like that. So I definitely wouldn't recommend spending your resources on her before you spend it on say these units or the other units I mentioned in my other video. Always prioritize the first units I mentioned in that first video, because those units are going to carry you through the game. But these ones are kind of, as more you go, you get some more supporting units, as well as you start working towards demonic beasts, and then these ones are kind of a bit of the last, just for some fun. But I do use her always for my Howlex. Lucky last, similar kind of setup to Sigurd. He's in an interesting position. As you can see, I haven't spent too much resources on him because I don't use him that often, but he has an Extort card that gives buffs. He has a passive that gives buffs, and he has an Amplify card himself. And funny enough, although it says human, he actually does work on the demon team as well. So if you pair him with like Estarossa and then maybe Assault Melee, your team can be very buff heavy, and you can have a lot of fun with him as well. Because I haven't built him up too much, I don't have his Holy Relic yet, but his Holy Relic is very, very strong as well, and will actually make your PvP, if you're building a demon team, make a lot more fun, or a Ragnarok team, right? So start at PvP, increase the hero's basic stats by 25% of the enemy with the highest combat class. So that can make them very, very tanky and very strong as well, and a lot of fun. Cool guys, so that is my part 2, giving the people what they want of heroes that you want to add to your account. Like I said, definitely prioritize the one that is in the ones that are in my first video. I will link that video in the description below for you all. So check out that one first and use your resources on those heroes, because they will be more beneficial than some of these ones, especially the festival units. But these are great heroes to kind of help round out your account, give you some more options in terms of what you're doing for certain boss fights, PvP, etc. And obviously as you head towards Demonic Beasts, these are the ones you want to invest in, and these can be a lot of fun. Hope that helps guys, hope you enjoy, and I will catch you all in the next one.